You feel exhausted. It's not the physical fatigue of a long day at work, but a deep exhaustion that seems to come from your soul. And the most confusing thing is that this feeling gets worse precisely when you are close to someone who, objectively, is a good person. Someone helpful, perhaps a little shy, who speaks softly, who seems sensitive to the needs of others. Someone who has never directly insulted you, never yelled, never made a scene in public. Yet, at the end of every interaction, you feel drained, you feel smaller. You catch yourself doubting yourself, questioning your own reactions. Why did I feel so irritated when she just suggested something to help me? Why do I feel guilty for wanting alone time when he is so understanding? You are in a constant fog of guilt and confusion. You start to believe the problem is you. Maybe you are too sensitive. Maybe you are selfish. Maybe you are reading too much into everything. What if this confusion is not an accident? What if this exhaustion is a symptom? What if the most gentle, helpful, and humble person in your life is, in fact, the architect of your emotional prison? The narcissist who yells, who demands, who boasts, is easy to spot. The world has learned to see the grandiose signs, but the true master of manipulation doesn't use a hammer. They use a scalpel. They are the covert narcissist, and the signs of their presence are not explosions. They are whispers. They are omissions. They are gestures. So subtle that if you try to point them out, you look like the unbalanced one. Today, we're not going to talk about the obvious. We're going to turn on the black light and reveal the invisible stains. We're going to decode the 9 subtle, almost imperceptible signs that the covert narcissist uses to control you, diminish you, and feed off your energy. And by the end of this, your confusion will give way to clarity. My name is Lauren Mitchell. My purpose with this channel is to show you that the problem was never you, and more importantly, that you are not alone. If this video resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and leave your like on the video. I count on your support. The covert narcissist knows that grandiosity scares away intelligent people. So, they flip the script. They don't present themselves as superior. They present themselves as humble, sensitive, perhaps even a bit of a victim of circumstances. It's a sheep's clothing mask that hides a wolf hungry for validation. And this facade manifests in these first 3 signs. Sign number 1, generosity, with implicit expectation of reciprocity. On the surface, the covert narcissist seems incredibly generous. They offer to pick you up at the airport. They bring you a coffee without you asking. They volunteer for projects nobody wants. People around comment, "Wow, he's so altruistic." But you, who are close, feel something different. Here's the decoding. It's not a gift, it's a deposit. The covert narcissist operates a strict, emotional bank. Every act of kindness is an investment that they expect to return with very high interest. The problem is that they don't inform you about the terms of the contract. When they do you a small favor, they are buying the right to make a huge demand later. And if you hesitate, they won't charge you directly. That would be too obvious. Instead, they will use the victim mask. They will sigh. They will say, "No, it's fine. I understand. Well, after everything I did for you, I thought that, but it's okay. I'll manage." This instantly throws you into the position of an ungrateful debtor. You are the horrible person who refused to help this saint. To avoid that terrible feeling of guilt, you give in. You do what they want. The initial favor, which seemed like generosity, was just the bait for the hook of control. True, generosity is selfless. Narcissistic generosity is a business transaction disguised as altruism. Sign number 2, the backhanded compliment. The covert narcissist cannot stand your shine. Your success, your happiness, your competence, all of it reminds them of their own inner emptiness and their fraudulent sense of self. But they can't attack you openly. That would break their nice person facade. So they use the most subtle tool of diminishment, the backhanded compliment. It's a phrase that, on the surface, sounds like praise, but is cleverly designed to destabilize and put you down. You get a promotion. Instead of, "Congratulations, you deserve it," they say, "Wow, congratulations. They must be really desperate for someone in that role to promote you so quickly." Or, "That's great. I'm happy all that extra stress was worth it for you. The first part is the compliment, the bait. The second is the poison, the criticism. You get dressed to go out. You look beautiful in that dress. It's amazing how well it hides your flaws. You complete a difficult project. It turned out very well. It doesn't even look like you made it. The goal is twofold. First, they fulfill the social, the BI, obligation of congratulating you. Second, they inject a dose of insecurity that prevents you from fully enjoying your moment. They give you a pat on the back while simultaneously pulling the rug out from under you. And if you react, if you say, "That was mean," their response is immediate and predictable. "What? I was just complimenting you. You're too sensitive. Can't one even joke with you anymore?" And, once again, the problem reverts to you. Sign number 3, the position of chronic and reasonable victim. This is the central pillar of the covert narcissist's identity. Unlike the grandiose narcissist, who seeks admiration, the covert one seeks compassion. Compassion is an incredibly potent form of narcissistic supply. It puts the entire focus on them, obligates you to care for them, and disarms you of any criticism. But they are not a hysterical victim. They are a reasonable victim. Their problems are always the fault of crazy ex-partners, unfair bosses, or a cruel world that doesn't understand their sensitive nature. They don't complain, they sigh. They don't accuse, they insinuate. When you try to talk about a problem of your own, the conversation magically turns back to them. You say, "I'm exhausted today." They respond, "I know what you mean. I haven't slept right in weeks, ever since that incident at work. But it's okay. I don't want to burden you with my problems." This is a master move. They simultaneously, 1, invalidate your feeling, 2, position themselves as a bigger victim, and 3, congratulate themselves for being considerate, for not wanting to burden you, all while doing exactly that. This chronic victimization places you in a perpetual caregiver role. You spend your energy trying to cheer them up, validate them, fix them. You feel guilty for having your own needs. How can you complain about a bad day when they are carrying the weight of the world on their sensitive shoulders? The answer is, you can't. You are silenced, and they become the center of the universe, exactly as they always wanted, all under the mask of the martyr. If the facade of humility is the mask, passive-aggressive behavior is the weapon of choice. The covert narcissist rarely confronts. Confrontation is risky. They can be exposed. Instead, they master the art of disguised hostility. They punish you, control you, and sabotage you in ways that are nearly impossible to prove. Sign number 4, selective forgetting and strategic procrastination. Have you noticed how they forget exactly the things that are important to you? They forget your mother's birthday after you reminded them 3 times. They forget to pay that bill that was their responsibility, causing a late fee. They forget to pick you up at the agreed time, leaving you waiting. This is not poor memory. It is aggression. It is a passive way of saying, what is important to you is irrelevant to me. Strategic procrastination works the same way. You ask them to do a simple task. They say, "Sure, honey," and they don't do it. You ask again, "Yes, yes, I'll do it," and they don't do it. They indefinitely postpone until, frustrated and exhausted, you do the task yourself. The moment you do it, they have won. They have trained you. They have established that their time is more valuable than yours. They have worn you down into submission. And if you complain, they will say, "Relax, I was going to do it. You're too impatient." They punish you for your competence and punish you for your expectations. It's a form of control that turns you into an exhausted mother, while they maintain power without lifting a finger. Sign number 5, the silent treatment disguised as a need for space. The silent treatment is a notorious abuse tactic. The grandiose narcissist does it obviously. They ignore you, slam doors, refuse to answer. It's clear punishment. The covert narcissist is more sophisticated. They don't give you the silent treatment. They give you a need for space. Something happens. Maybe you criticize them, even gently. You feel the immediate shift in the atmosphere. They are not angry. Oh no. They are hurt. They are processing. They say in a calm, falsely mature voice, "I'm not angry. I just need some time for myself. I need to process my feelings. And then they withdraw. They don't block you. They answer your text messages, but with single-word replies. Yes, no, okay, fine. The warm energy vanishes, replaced by an Arctic desert of polite indifference. This is incredibly torturous. You are not being actively punished, so you can't complain, but you are being deprived of all connection. You start to panic. You start to apologize, even without knowing what you did. You beg for connection. You promise to change. After days or hours of this subtle torment, when they feel you have been sufficiently punished and learned your lesson, they return. I'm feeling a little better. Thanks for being patient. They have trained you to fear their space more than any fight. They have taught you that any criticism, however small, will result in emotional abandonment. Sign number 6, the subtle sabotage of your achievements. Your light is an existential threat to the covert narcissist. They need to be the center, even if it's the center of compassion. When you shine, you steal their supply. They need to extinguish that light, but they can't use an obvious fire extinguisher. They use a subtle dimmer. This is sabotage with plausible deniability. You have an important job interview. The night before, they initiate a deep emotional conversation about the state of the relationship, keeping you awake until 3 a.m. You go to the interview exhausted. If you accuse them, they will say, "I just wanted to connect. Don't you care about our feelings? You are on a diet, feeling good." They innocently fill the house with your favorite sweets. "I just thought I'd treat you. You don't have to eat it if you don't want to." They put you in a position to fail and then subtly judge you for it. They forget to give you a crucial phone message from a client. They lose the car keys right when you need to leave for an important event. They give you bad advice disguised as concern, planting seeds of doubt that make you hesitate on a golden opportunity. Each of these acts, in isolation, seems like an accident, an oversight. But when you look at the pattern, you see the design. They are actively working to ensure you remain one step below them. They need you, but they need you to be smaller than they are. From these last signs, you will see the deepest and most dangerous level of covert abuse. Here, the narcissist is not just manipulating your actions. They are actively distorting your reality. They are making you doubt what you see, hear, and feel. Sign number 7, selective. Listening and data collection to use against you. In their good moments, the covert narcissist can seem like the best listener in the world. They look you in the eyes, ask questions, encourage you to share your deepest fears, your insecurities, your childhood traumas. You feel seen. You feel connected. You think, finally, someone who understands me. You are tragically wrong. They are not listening to understand you. They are listening to file it away. They are an emotional spy. Every vulnerability you give them is a weapon they catalog for future use. You tell them you have a panic, fear of abandonment. Months later, in a trivial argument, they will calmly say, "Well, if you keep acting like this, it doesn't surprise me that people leave you." You share an insecurity about your intelligence. The next time you disagree with them, they will give a condescending smile and say, "It's okay, don't worry about it, it's a complicated subject." What you thought was a moment of intimacy was, in fact, an interrogation. They use your deepest wounds to control you. They stab you exactly where it hurts the most. And the worst part is that you were the one who handed them the knife, believing they would keep it safely. Sign number 8, subtle gaslighting. We have established that the covert narcissist is a master of plausibility. Their gaslighting is not the classic, "I never said that," or "you're crazy." It is much more refined. It is a gaslighting that makes you feel like you are the one overreacting. You say, "I was hurt when you said that." Their response is not defensive. It's confused. They say, "Hurt, but why? I was just joking. You used to have a sense of humor." Or, "I never intended to hurt you. I think you're taking things too personally." The key phrase is "I didn't intend to." They use their intention to invalidate your feeling. The message is clear. If they didn't intend to hurt you, then you have no right to feel hurt. Your feelings are wrong. They don't deny the facts. They deny your perception of the facts. "I wasn't flirting with her. I was just being friendly. You're being jealous for no reason. I wasn't criticizing you. I was just trying to help you. You're too sensitive to constructive criticism. Repeat this hundreds of times, and the result is devastating. You learn that your feelings are unreliable. You learn that your emotional reaction to a stimulus is exaggerated or wrong. You disconnect from your internal compass, which makes you completely dependent on their interpretation of reality. Sign number 9, envy disguised as concern. This is perhaps the most venomous and hardest to detect sign, because the covert narcissist feeds off their own victimization and moral superiority. Your genuine, independent happiness is a direct offense to them. They envy your light, your joy, your resilience, but they will never admit to envy. Envy is an ugly feeling, and they are a good person, so they disguise envy as concern. You come home radiant, talking about a new friendship or a new hobby. Instead of being happy for you, they frown with an expression of serious concern. They say, "That new friend of yours, she seems a little, I don't know. She doesn't seem like a good influence. I'm just worried she'll hurt you." You are excited about a trip. They say, "Are you sure? With your stress level lately, I don't know if it's the best time. I just worry about your well-being." You are thinking of accepting a great opportunity. They say, "I support you 100%, but can you handle it? It seems so exhausting. I just don't want to see you fail." Notice the mechanism. They plant a seed of doubt, anxiety, or guilt right in the middle of your joy. They do it under the mask of love and care. They make you feel that your joy is, somehow, naive or dangerous. They are not protecting you from the world. They are protecting their fragile ego from your happiness. They prefer to see you safe and small next to them than to see you happy and free away from them. If you heard these 9 signs and felt a shiver of recognition, if your stomach turned because you just saw a script of your last few years, take a deep breath. The confusion you felt was not a sign of your craziness. It was your sanity reacting to an insane environment. The exhaustion you feel is not weakness. It is the battle fatigue of a soul that has been fighting alone, in the dark, against a ghost. The guilt you carry is not yours. It is heavy baggage that was placed on your back, piece by piece, day after day, by someone who refuses to carry their own. The covert narcissist is a master of dissimulation. Their greatest weapon is their ability to appear reasonable. They manipulate you so subtly that if you try to explain it to an outsider, you will sound like the unbalanced one. They isolate you in your own perception. But today, the game has changed. What you have now is clarity. You have names for the behaviors. You have the decoding of the tactic. What was once a vague feeling, an intuition, is now a concrete, analyzable fact. The covert narcissist's mask only works in the darkness of your confusion. The moment you turn on the light of clarity, the mask of sensitive victim and helpful person melts away, and for the first time, you can see the hungry void behind it. You cannot change them. You cannot fix them. You cannot beat them at their own game. But you can do something much more powerful. You can see them for who they truly are. And the moment you see, you stop doubting yourself. You stop blaming yourself. You stop trying to please an entity that cannot be pleased. Their power was not in their strength. It was in their ability to make you doubt yours. Your clarity is the antidote. Trust your perception. Trust your exhaustion. Trust your intuition. It was not wrong. It was just whispering the truth, waiting for you to be ready to hear. Now you are. In the description of this video, you will find a link to support materials created with much care to help you understand and reframe what you have lived or are living through. Feel free to use the comments below to leave your story, your vent, or even a suggestion for the next video's topic. Click on the suggested video on the screen and continue with me. Remember, you are light. Never forget to shine.